Hello, welcome to Genova. Yes, I did see 6 countries in 2.5 weeks. And yes, I was on a cruise with my friend Evan, and that brought us all over the place. It was an interesting trip. It was different from anything else I've ever done. We went to Marseille, where we tried biscuits, and we saw the oldest factory that made biscuits in Marseille. And this man was the most lovely man that makes tons and tons of biscuits every day. And he gave me so many to bring for all my loved ones. And it was just insane to see how hard they work every day and how much people love to go to this place. It felt like they were all a bit of a family in Marseille. Then we went to see this place which shows all of the nativity figures that they have in Marseille. It's a very, very well-established business where they literally make figures for the nativity, and they tried to make us do some, but it didn't go as well. They sell them, and the whole of Marseille has them, and they make a new one every day. We then went to a kitchen, which if I could have stayed there, I probably would have, because if I can cook, I would. The place wasn't exactly particularly vegan friendly. The menu was a bit weird looking, but I managed to eat something, and Evan tried lamb testicles. It was so nice to see them working in a kitchen, and they were so lovely and inviting, and they got us in there. We were dragged from one place to the other very quickly, and I feel like maybe we didn't see enough, but Marseille was wonderful, and the lighting and the colors and everything and the people it was just so stunning to see. And that's when we went to Barcelona. I've been so many times, it feels like I'm going home a bit almost. So I kind of took a few snippets of places that I liked and things that I thought were nice to look at, and that was pretty much it for me. In terms of Lisbon was a wonderful city. It's like a mixture of like San Francisco in a European way. It goes up and down so much. We weren't very lucky with the weather, but we explored so much, and our guide was so intense actually. It was so interesting to see a language that I actually don't understand, and like trying to understand it as well, because I'm so used to being able to speak any sort of like main language. The colors in Lisbon were amazing, and everyone's so passionate about Portugal and what they do, and there's so many nice colors. I think I've seen it already with the trams and the up and downs and the colors and the people and all of these wonderful places and buildings, and it feels so magical. I'd never been to Lisbon before, and it took a bit of my heart. I wish I could have stayed a bit more. That's when we went to Funchal. Funchal is a place in the Madeira Island, and it looked stunning. I genuinely don't know how to explain how beautiful this place is. It's like a hill, and up a hill. We went there when the sun was rising, and it looked beautiful with these white and red houses running down all over the hill, and you can go up and down with the cabins as well, and it's so summery and pretty and vintage. It looks so old but nice, and the sky and the flowers and the plants, everything's insane in this place. And our guide was so lovely to explain to us everything that was going on in this place that I would have never visited if I hadn't been on this trip. We had the chance to go down a toboggan as well, which is one of the ways they used to go up and down in the city at the time. They showed us the market and the fruit that they make, that it's typical from there, and we explored the garden. It had so many nice plants that I'm obsessed with, obviously. That's when we went to Mindelo. Mindelo is in Cape Verde. It's an island of the Cape Verde Island, and that is probably the one that left me a bit more scarred as a place, because you see us going there with this big boat, and all I could see was what I see like as a mixture of like Africa and Brazil and Portugal, I guess. These houses, half constructed, half not, so many people on the street, so much ground, so much grit, and so many things falling apart. Houses that are half built because they build them over time, saving money to keep building them. And there was, I don't know, it was an interesting place. It made me feel really out of place, because I could see all of these kids and all of these people, and I could see so much poverty as well. Like, they talked me about Cape Verde for their music, but all I could see was a lot of people in a way I'm not used to see people, I guess, because I'm lucky that I come from a westernized part of the Western world, and seeing all this difference and how people live in a completely different environment, and their sanitary condition and their I'm trying to say this in the least offensive way possible. It's just like, it was really, really stuck with me. It was something that I kept thinking when I got back on the boat, seeing these houses that I wonder how they stay up. Being there basically made me understand how privileged I am at the end of the day, and how you can live with a lot less. It just felt so out of place for us to go there with that big ship, with these really rich people going around the place and kind of like using it as a tourist destination. And it's so difficult to say this without making me sound like I'm a complete idiot, but it was just impossible not to think about it, even though I try and be aware of it and I try and do my best. It was a different experience from visiting Europe, where we've basically been so far. My brain couldn't stop thinking and thinking and thinking. Maybe it's because it's developing countries and I'm not used to being part of a developing country, I suppose. But they have an incredibly strong religion in this place, and it was the first place where the black slave trade was actually made and happened. It was just so weird to see. I've been to Thailand, I've been to Vietnam, but it always hits me when I see different ways of living, and that's what I love the most about traveling, getting out of my comfort zone and living a different situation and seeing different things and being aware of that as well, in, as much as I can. Walking on the street and having like stalls like that, or people on the street, house falling apart. There's a very economical part of the city that is like full of skyscrapers, and then there's this part of it that instead it feels very poor, and it worried me so much. Rio de Janeiro instead felt a lot more like New York, sort of like a Portuguese New York, if that makes sense, and a mixture of like, it gave me a Southeast Asia feelings as well. But it was so beautiful. I think Rio was probably my favorite place of the whole trip. It's so busy, so intense, there's so much music, there's a lot happening, a lot of shops, and everyone's dancing in the evening. We were staying in one of the most like intense nightlife place and quarters of Rio, and I can't explain how lively it felt. When we were there, we took this train and we went to see the Cristo Redentor up the mountain, which was an insane experience, and it gave me a really big Spirited Away vibes. For some reason, that train was very Spirited Away, and the view was just insane. Seeing how Rio has grown and seeing all the colors and what makes the city so alive. We then got up a cable car, and we went up a mountain to see the sugar loaf, and we waited there until night so that we were able to see it changing and evolving, and see Rio and experience how it is at night. It never dies. People are always exercising, and it's just insane to be there. It feels like you're always alive, and it really makes you want to work out. It was an interesting trip, but it also gave me really intense feelings of wanting to do something for this world and the way things are, and seeing more of what I've seen in the countries where maybe normally I wouldn't have gone otherwise. I think it's important to see that kind of stuff to also like realize how lucky sometimes you are, but also without being offensive towards the way they live or anything like that. That's not what I mean. It's just like, it made me think, that's it. I'm now back, and I hope to make videos soon, and I hope you like this one. Let me know what you think, and if you like the video itself and the visuals, I put a lot of effort into it. To see you soon. Bye.